All right, today we're jumping headfirst into one of the wildest, most confusing, and honestly most fascinating corners of the digital economy, meme coins. We're talking about assets that kind of throw out the old rulebook on value, turning internet jokes into, believe it or not, multi-billion-dollar markets. So let's get into it. I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly sets up the puzzle we're trying to solve here. How on earth can a picture of a dog, or a cartoon frog, or just some random viral trend become a serious financial asset? Well, the answer is tangled up somewhere between psychology, tech, and of course, culture. So where did this whole crazy train even start? Let's wind the clock back to the very beginning and see how a simple joke can somehow morph into a financial jackpot. And this right here, this is the most important thing you need to understand. Unlike your typical cryptos that are built to solve some complex technical problem, a meme coin's foundation is pure internet culture. Its value comes from attention, from how much people believe in it, from sheer social momentum. It's all about the story, the vibe, not just the code. And here it is, the granddaddy of them all, Dogecoin. You have to understand, this thing was literally created as a joke. The founders were poking fun at all the hype around Bitcoin. They took that famous Doge meme, the Shiba Inu with the goofy internal monologue, and just slapped it onto a crypto token. They never, ever thought people would take it seriously. Okay, so this is where you really need to separate things in your mind. With something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, you're kind of looking under the hood, right? You're evaluating the tech, its real-world use, the team building it. But with meme coins, you're basically just checking the pulse of the internet. Can it go viral? Is the online community totally obsessed with it? That's what moves the needle. And check out this journey, it's just wild. It starts as a complete joke, but then the community does something really cool. They band together to raise money to send the Jamaican bobsled team to the Olympics. It showed they had real collective power. Now, fast forward to 2021, and with a bull market roaring and some huge celebrity shoutouts, boom, that joke coin explodes in value, making some of its earliest believers actual millionaires. Which leads us perfectly into our next big topic, the sheer power of the crowd. Because if technology isn't really the main driver of value here, then what is? Well, the answer is people. Millions and millions of them, all getting organized online. And this breaks it down so perfectly. Think of it like a 4-step playbook for turning culture into cash. First, you need a symbol, the Doge dog, whatever. Step 2, that symbol has to spread like wildfire online. Step 3, a community, like an online tribe, forms around it. And finally, all that belief and shared identity turns into actual market demand. People buy in, the price goes up, which of course attracts even more people. It's a feedback loop. So what's going on inside our heads when this happens? It's all the classic human stuff, right? You see a coin's price going vertical, and that fear of missing out, that FOMO, kicks in hard. You see posts about people making life-changing money, and greed starts whispering in your ear. You see thousands of other people all piling in, so that herd instinct makes you think, hey, they must know something I don't. It's almost pure emotion driving the bus, not cold, hard logic. Okay, so if our emotions are the fuel for this rocket ship, what's the engine? Well, that would be social media, plain and simple. These platforms aren't just for sharing vacation pics anymore. They are full-blown market-moving machines. And these are the digital town squares where it all goes down. On X, a single idea can spread to millions in an instant. On Reddit, you have these super organized communities building entire mythologies around a coin. And then in private chats on Telegram and Discord, that's where the real-time momentum is built, minute by minute. The chatter on these platforms can literally move markets. And get this, the power is so concentrated, it's insane. We're not talking about waiting for some quarterly earnings report. In the world of meme coins, a single tweet, a single post from a major influencer can create or destroy millions of dollars in value, literally in minutes. And here's the proof in black and white. Just look at this. In this one specific case, after a flurry of online posts from celebrities and influencers, Dogecoin shot up by an incredible 37% in just one day. The technology didn't change, nothing fundamental happened. It was just attention. Attention became the asset. All right, this is where we have to talk about the other side of the coin, the brutal reality of this market. The chance for incredible, life-changing success lives right next door to the risk of getting completely wiped out by a scam. And that line between them is razor thin. First up, the dream. The reason everyone gets so excited. At its absolute peak, Dogecoin's rise represented a gain of over 70,000%. This is the kind of stuff you just don't see in traditional markets. And it's the possibility of hitting a number like this that keeps people coming back for more. But then there's the nightmare. This number? This is how much money investors lost in the Squid Game token scam. It took the name of the super popular TV show, the price went crazy, and then the anonymous creators just vanished with everyone's money. The price went to zero, instantly. And that scam has a name you've probably heard, a rug pull. It's one of the biggest dangers in this space, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The creators hype up a project, get a bunch of people to put their money in, and then they literally pull the rug out from under everyone by draining all the money and disappearing, leaving behind a worthless token. So after all that, the incredible highs, the crushing lows, what does it all mean? Where is this headed? Is this whole meme coin thing just a weird fad that's going to burn out? Or are we actually getting a glimpse of a new way that value is created? So here's the thing. Most of these individual coins, yeah, they're probably not going to make it. The ones that are just based on a quick bit of hype will most likely go to zero. But the idea behind them, the concept of a digital asset that's owned and driven by its community and its culture, that's a whole different story. That idea is probably here to stay. And maybe this is the biggest lesson of all from this whole phenomenon. In this new world, markets don't always reward the smartest idea or the best technology first. Sometimes they just reward whatever is getting the most attention. Attention itself has become a form of currency. Okay, so let's get practical. If you're even thinking about dipping a toe in these waters, how do you protect yourself? Well, it's honestly pretty straightforward, but absolutely crucial. First, you have to do your own research. Don't just trust a tweet. Second, and this is the big one, never ever invest more than you are truly willing to lose. Know the risks, like rug pulls. And finally, have a plan. Know when you're going to get out, whether you're up or you're down. Which brings us all the way back to the beginning, back to that central nagging question. Where is that thin line between a shared belief in a piece of culture and pure financial speculation? Meme coins haven't just walked that line, they've erased it, forcing all of us to rethink what value even means in the digital age. And while the answer isn't simple, that question is definitely going to shape what comes next.